Hands full, certainly dealing with Yordan Alvarez, who's been on fire to start the year. Still some really good bats in that Astros lineup despite all the injuries they have. It's the Dodgers and the Astros, the first of three in Houston. Joe Davis, Oral Hershiser have the call. Joe, take it away.
Hi, John, from St. Louis to Houston in Daikin Park. It's the Dodgers and the Houston Astros in the first of three tonight. And we welcome you inside. Hope you're having a great week so far. Joe Davis and Oral Hershiser. Dodgers end their four-game losing streak yesterday in St. Louis. Gained some momentum coming here into Houston, where the Astros have really struggled so far this year.
They really have, and we hope that continues. And this uniform always inspires Dodger fans, and I think it'll inspire the Dodger players.
Biggest strength for the Dodgers this year has been the starting pitching, and they've got the best of the bunch lined up here for the Astros.
They really do. It looks like a playoff rotation coming into it. Yamamoto has set the bar for himself very high, but he hasn't really gone over it lately. I expect that tonight. Ohtani just became the decorated National League Pitcher of the Month. That is a fantastic guy in Game 2. And then Game 3, hopefully looking for a sweep. Tyler Glass now with that outstanding curveball.
But tonight, as you touched on, it'll be Yamamoto. Not quite as sharp the last couple.
Yeah, he's looking for the off-speed stuff to be a little bit sharper, and especially with two strikes to be able to put people away.
Offense got just enough yesterday. Maybe not a breakout, but headed in the right direction as we go down to Kirsten Watson.
Thanks, Joe. Yeah, it's no secret that the offense has been struggling a bit as of late. Even if you look at their last 5 games, they're only averaging just a tick over 2 runs per game. They haven't hit a home run in 6 straight, but they're hoping that coming here to Daikin Park, they can get things going. The guys have said it's a very hitter-friendly ballpark, and they're going up against a pitching staff that has the worst ERA in Major League Baseball. The guys have said if they can take advantage of that, if they can get to the pitching staff early, the Astros are starting with an opener this evening, but that if they can continue to build up that pitch count and attack him early, they do feel like they can have a lot of success and even bring back in that long ball, guys.
All right, Kirsten trying to string them together after snapping the skid yesterday. The first of 3 in Houston coming up on SportsNet LA.
100 years.
Dodgers have now gone 6 consecutive games without a home run, the longest homerless drought since July of 2014, when they went 8 games without going deep. They've gone 2 and 4 during this homerless stretch, and if the long ball isn't there, Jerry, would you like to maybe see a different approach until the power returns, or just kind of keep going the same way?
Well, with this group and this team, when they have a good approach and they put good swings on the baseballs, they hit home runs. So I really believe it's the approach and understanding. Get your pitch hit, do not miss it. We talked about the ailing pitching staff of the Astros. Yes, they're going with the opener tonight. There's really no excuse, guys. Let's go out there, get pitches to drive, and hammer them.
Yeah, I think home runs with quality at-bats come with quality at-bats. I don't think it's the other way. I don't think they're searching for home runs. Quality at-bats with this power that these guys naturally had. They put good swings. The ball naturally carries out of it. But I think what I've seen is from maybe what they're thinking about out there. I think there's a lot. I've seen a lot of guessing over these last few games. You know what I mean by that? There's pitches down the middle of the heart of the plate, fastballs, that they're taking, and then they swing at some other pitches out of the zone. Almost like they're giving the pitcher way too much credit, rather than just looking early for mistakes and your pitch early to do damage, rather than worried about what they provide. That's what I almost feel like they're doing, rather than just trusting themselves.
If somebody hits the choo-choo train, I'll buy their dinner.
There you go.
So somebody, choo-choo train. That's what I would say.
Well, Shohei was hitting him off the choo-choo train in early BP.
During the game.
They're during game.
During the game.
Game matters. He'll buy them dinner. But you know what? You better clarify what type of dinner, because I know what you mean by dinner, because that could be just, McDonald's.
Well, I get the pick.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Kyle Tucker also back in Houston, Nomar, and I know he went through the emotions of returning there last year when he was with the Cubs. It'd be nice to see him back in the familiar sites, some familiar grounds.
Swing it well, Tuck. Swing it well.
All right, Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitching for the Dodgers, and hopefully those are the blue bomber jerseys once again tonight. Joe and Oral have the first call next.
Spring. Be honest.
Jr. Carl's Jr.'s new Western Bacon Chicken Sandwich with freshly hand-breaded all-white meat. Just $5.99 for a limited time. And by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Come on inside Daikin Park for the first of 3, the Dodgers and the Astros. Earlier today, Shohei Ohtani was named the National League Pitcher of the Month, and he has the start tomorrow. He was throwing in the outfield at .350, and a little more than an hour before that, the other Ohtani was getting work in. Rare sighting, Ohtani hitting on the field. Trying to get that swing dialed in. He's 0 for his last 14 coming into this series. And as you can see, it was not exactly smooth from the start. He fouled some balls into the cage. And we were talking with Aaron Bates, the hitting coach, and he said by the end, it looked a lot better.
Yeah, this is a little different than hitting in the cage because you get to see the whole flight of the ball, which is going to give you a read on your spin and your confidence when all of a sudden a few of them, a lot of them, were leaving the ballpark.
Dave Roberts is saying usually when he does that, usually when he hits on the field, it winds up being a good game. So we'll see as Ohtani heads out there to lead things off for the Dodgers with Freddie Freeman batting second and, of course, starting at first base. Will Smith does the catching after having yesterday in St. Louis off. Teoscar Hernandez back with the team that he debuted with here in Houston. He's in left field hitting fourth. Kyle Tucker, same thing for him, faces his old squad. In right field hitting fifth. The third baseman Max Muncy is the sixth hitter with Andy Pages in center hitting seventh. Ha-Seong Kim continues to perform well. Comes in hitting .317 for the year, right there with Andy Pages for the team lead. And Alex Freeland hitting ninth at second base. Rounding things out for the Dodgers, you mentioned it. It's an opener for the Astros, Steven Okert, and as a little snapshot into what this season has been for the Astros, this is the 12th different guy they've used to start a game.
Most in the major leagues, of course. He's a fastball slider guy. He might not be out there very long. Longest outing of the year is an inning and 2/3 through 12 pitches yesterday. So I think he's just out there for this first inning, and that's it. He might only be out there for 3 batters.
You hear the train blowing its horn. Great ballpark here in Houston, where Ohtani will lead off for the Dodgers, coming off the 4-1 win yesterday. With 6 scoreless innings from Justin Robleski. Glimpse into the biggest differentiator between these two teams so far, the starting pitching. Dodgers the second best in baseball, trailing just the Yankees there. The Astros second worst. Starters with an ERA above 5. Ohtani climbs in. Okert out of the stretch comes home, and off we go with a line drive off the end of the bat, bouncing to Paredes. 1 pitch and 1 out for Steven Okert.
It's an out. It's 1 pitch, but it's a good sign for his swing. Hitting it in the air to the opposite field. One of the main things they were concentrating on this afternoon.
And Okert is the guy to open this game because of what he does against left-handed hitters. Lefties hitting just .154 against him. He eliminates the first one and now sets his sights on Freddie Freeman. Strike 1 from Okert. Ohtani wasn't the only guy to change his routine today. Freddie Freeman took batting practice with the team. Good weekend in St. Louis, had 5 hits, but he said still not feeling right, so going to change it up. We'll see Freddie probably once every, 3 weeks. Take batting practice on the field, 2 weeks. The swing just has not felt right for him this year. And it's hard to believe him because the numbers are always so good, but he'd tell you the swing hasn't felt right for years. He's down quickly here, and Okert wiping him clean.
We do not see Freddie do this very often. I mean, that is a ball almost out of hand when you read the slider spin. Yes, it looked like it could have been a fastball, but Freddie's eyes would tell you he knew that was slider early.
2 up and 2 down. Will Smith, first right-hander to get a crack at Okert. Astros hope that it's the last. And then get just a 1-2-3 inning from their opener and hand it off likely to Ryan Weiss to have the bulk today. Smith had yesterday off, 1 for 6 the first 2 games in St. Louis. He was telling us before the St. Louis series, working on his swing, trying to feel more open, more free in his swing, and he said mission accomplished, swing feels good. Now just got to get some hits.
Yeah, the baseball doesn't care how you feel. You just got to execute and hope it misses fielders or finds grass.
And he will find some grass. A 2-out hit for Will Smith. So Okert retires the 2 lefties that he faces. The first righty dumps a base hit into left center field and gets another righty to the plate in Hernandez.
Well, in the off day coming up on the 7th, Will has his charity event and it's a comedy event, so I hope he has a good series so he can be laughing that night.
You gave him what I thought was a great idea. I don't know if he's going to take it. Having his jokes on a wristband, on a catcher's wristband.
I think it's perfect.
Ball on Teoscar.
Hopefully he had already thought of that, and I was stealing an idea. That's why he didn't want to give into it.
Poker face from Will.
Oh, yeah, that just in.
Hernandez, 4 hits and 3 walks in the series against the Cardinals. He has shifted his sights lately to the opposite field. We've seen more hits over there. And in talking to hitting coach Aaron Bates, he said the walks he thinks are a result of that too. Because if you're trying to go the other way, you're seeing the ball a little bit longer. The walks have gone through the roof the last week plus.
There's a chase right there, but it looked like he was looking for a breaking ball down and in, kind of go after it. The ball just hung up there. Made him flail at it.
34-year-old from Riverside, California, Stephen Okert, looking to put up a 0 to start this game for Houston. His 1-2 to Hernandez, taken downstairs. The Astros just 14 and 21. Only the Angels and the Red Sox have worse records in the American League. And the Astros trying to build off of taking 2 of 3 from the Red Sox. Over the weekend at Fenway. 2-2. Stays alive. They pitched pretty well this weekend. That's been the exception. Had some timely hits. The offense has actually been great for the Astros, but the pitching so bad that they find themselves 7 games below 500. And Ryan Weiss, who figures to handle most of the game tonight, getting ready. Smith at first, 2 out. And a 2-2 pitch to Teoscar Hernandez is smacked to right center field. An opposite field base hit for Hernandez. And back-to-back 2-out hits for the Dodgers.
As the Dodgers have struggled through this offensive drought, each and every player is looking at the symptoms of what's going on with them individually and then trying to take those symptoms and find the foundation. Maybe the foundation for Teoscar is going to the opposite field to get rid of the symptoms of the rollovers and the chases.
Kyle Tucker gets a chance here, and apparently these fans don't know that Tucker was traded. He didn't trade himself as they boo him coming up to the plate. Swings and misses. Tucker spent his first 7 seasons here in Houston, winning a world championship in 2022. Traded to the Cubs last year. And hit well when he came back here with the Cubs last year. His first trip here in Dodger blue. Swings and misses. He's down 0-2. Doubled and scored yesterday. Has a 10-game on-base streak coming into this series. Not much seems to stir him, but you figure that this would be something to get the blood pumping a little bit. Flies one into shallow left field. Matthews went back at first. That's going to fall. Oh, gift wrap run for the Dodgers on a dunk shot base hit from Kyle Tucker. Big swing, but a little fly, and Matthews is headed in the wrong direction and left. Smith in to score. 1-0 LA with a 2-out burst.
Well, sometimes you hit them hard. Teoscar did that. The other 2 hits have been not very good at all. They fell in. Will Smith, a little humpback liner to left, and now this little blooper gets the Astros all messed up. Dodgers will take it. They started off yesterday 2-0 lead. That helped put the W in the right column.
Sure changed the temperature, didn't it? Getting the first runs of the game. First time they had done that in a week. 2-on, 2-out for Muncy. And this figures to be Okert's last hitter.
Coming into that bloop hit, it was the 2 lefties that made outs and the 2 righties that got hits. And that should have been an out.
Man, he had the first 2 outs of the inning on 4 pitches. 3 straight hits since. Ball on Muncy. 393 his last 13 games. Has he averaged up to 300 for the year and top 6 in the National League. Homers, slugging, and on base plus slugging.
Of the 4 lefties that Okert is facing, this is the toughest one right here.
On a 1-0 pitch, Muncy looks at ball 2.
As far as who's hottest, swinging the bat well. Fastball middle in or a breaking ball lazy in the middle, he will kill it.
Target set away. Pitch misses way up. Throw down to third. Hernandez in there safe.
Looked like he spun his tires a little bit getting back to the bag. Right there was just a little odd step with his right foot where he didn't gain much distance to the bag.
3-0. Here comes ball 4. Bases loaded. Should mention the Astros have the highest walk rate of any pitching staff since 1915. 1915 Philadelphia A's of Weldon Wyckoff and Bullet Joe Bush, who threw hard but had no idea where it was going.
When we get into the bullpen, which I don't know if we call it, we're already in the bullpen, and here comes the starter now. But their bullpen has trouble throwing strikes too. And it has really been a major problem for them.
2 outs on 4 pitches and then 4 straight base runners. Bases loaded for LA. Kyle Tucker, bloop shot base hit to open the scoring against his old club.
The Jock in the Box.
Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by Shakey's Pizza Parlor, serving up handcrafted pizza, crispy fried chicken, and famous Mojo potatoes since 1954. Dodgers have a run. They're looking for more. The bases loaded and 2 gone in this first inning. Ryan Weiss will be the bulk guy today. Comes on to face off with Andy Pages. Strike 1. The Dodgers 2 up and 2 down. And then 3 straight singles from Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, Kyle Tucker. Walk to Muncy. A chance at a crooked number to start the game here. Feels like well, you don't want to say need, but it sure would be nice as they get a little momentum coming out of what was still a quiet offensive day yesterday, but led to a win, to really set the tone for a breakout. Pages on 1-1. 1-2.
With Yamamoto on the mound, they are looking for more crooked numbers. They have not supported him at all last year, and again this year. He has drawn the short straw. 3rd lowest run support in the National League for a starter.
Weiss to Pages, the 1-2, and he fouls off that high heat at 98, and Weiss is feeling revved up. This guy usually 95, 96. But inherited in the bases loaded situation, see 98.
2 types of fastball, the sweeper, the main breaking pitch, and then he throws a changeup off his 2-seamer.
Pages able to get there.
I know it's just a foul ball, but that is huge for Andy Pages not to swing and miss at that. That is showing some of the maturity and growth as a hitter.
Another 1-2 pitch. Got him with the fastball. Some of the fastest pitches Ryan Weiss has thrown in the big leagues here to get out of this bases loaded situation. The Dodgers settle for 1. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto takes the ball after this.
You've heard about.
Here's the Astros lineup. Correa leads off. Alvarez bats second. He's been their best guy. Isaac Paredes at third base hitting third. Christian Walker not far behind Yordan Alvarez so far this year. Altuve hitting 5th these days. Bryce Matthews, the center fielder rookie. He's the 6th hitter with Smith, Cole, and Vasquez to finish things up against Yamamoto, who had his worst game last week against Miami. 4 runs over 5 innings. Still, though, a 2.87 ERA. His first one to Correa is a splitter, and it gets a swing and a miss. Good sign on the first splitter that he throws after that pitch wasn't quite the same last week.
From the windup, all the stuff has been better. Tonight, I'm really going to watch how he pitches from the stretch. Here's the arsenal. But the numbers change when all of a sudden men have gotten on and men have gotten into scoring position compared to last year.
Destroys the bat of Correa. Somewhere Joe Kelly sheds a single tear. One gone in the first inning. Wow.
You know, that is way in on the label. Not a good feeling for a hitter when you just have the handle in your hand after a swing.
It's like, wait a minute, this doesn't feel as heavy.
Yeah, I used to be 34 ounces.
Yordan Alvarez with one gone takes the ball, and you could make a good argument that this is the best hitter on the planet right here. Combination of power and bat to ball ability. Rough series over the weekend in Boston, but you throw that out and he has been an absolute monster, which he always is when he's healthy. You're not supposed to be able to hit a ball 500 feet and make as much contact as Luis Arraez, but he does.
Yeah, he's a really, really good hitter. The balance, the power, the pitch selection, and then he thinks long with you as a pitcher. You get him out on a certain pitch, I'm not sure you would want to revisit that pitch in that area.
Yamamoto's 1-1-2 misses away, and even if you pick the right pitch, if you don't put it exactly where you want it, you're probably not getting it back. Fun matchup right here. Yamamoto to Alvarez. That's a breaker for a strike. He is the best breaking ball hitter in the majors.
Going for a backdoor breaking ball, ends up throwing it one ball to the inner half. Nice to get away with it.
Here comes with the 2-2. Ground ball, base hit. Got to that sinker. And a single into right for Alvarez.
Well, that's Shohei power, where we see a good pitch, not full contact, but still strong enough to hit it hard enough to find a hole. See this a lot when Shohei hits hard ground balls to the right side. The normal hitter, it's an out. For the strong guys with that kind of velocity off the bat, it's a hit.
And it's a base runner for the Astros. Isaac Paredes comes up, riding an 8-game hitting streak where he's hitting .375. Again, the offense has not been the problem. These Astros all over the top 10 across baseball. Pick your category. Top 3 in many categories. Coming off a 6-game road trip where they had double-digit hits in all 6 games. Nothing in 2 on Paredes. Part of the issue, biggest issue has been the pitching, but injuries across the roster have even started to take a chunk out of the lineup. They have 15 players on the injured list. That's more than any team in baseball. Jeremy Pena, their starting shortstop, he's set to begin a rehab this weekend, but been without him most of the year. Jake Myers, their starting center fielder, also on the IL. 0-2 to Paredes. Taken downstairs, ball 1. It's a very aggressive team. This is the exception right here in Paredes, who's one of the most patient guys in baseball. That's one of the reasons that they acquired him in the Kyle Tucker deal. Stays alive.
This is a count, those 2 strike counts the Yamamoto is looking to improve on, to really be able to put people away, get the whiff percentage up. 2 of the first 3 hitters here tonight with 0-2 counts. One with the ground ball, and this one in the 2 strike count wounds a toe.
Paredes in some pain right as we're talking about all the guys that are hurt. He's playing every day because of the guys that are hurt. Pena is injured at shortstop. Correa's moved off at third, back to short, and that's opened the door for this guy to get back in there at third. Eesh.
Oh, it's not a toe, it's the ankle.
It's been one of those years where Astros people tell you got to just kind of laugh at this point because it's like every day somebody's fallen. And their hope is that they can keep their heads above water, hang around in a division that is not very good. Just can't dig themselves too big a hole. And because they're in the West, even with this bad start, they're only 4.5 games out of first place. The A's are in first at 18-16. Paredes back in there for this 1-2.
Dodgers in this first at bat with him up there look like he is a low ball hitter. They've been throwing a four-seam fastball, the cutter up, and another fastball up. Just the one little breaking ball that splitter that he hit off the top of his ankle.
Another 1-2 pitch. Continue to stay away, and for good reason. This guy doesn't hit the ball very hard, but he pulls it in the air more than anybody in baseball. And when you do that in this ballpark, you're dangerous. So keep it out of the area where you can do that. Inside pitch. On 2-2. Takes it just downstairs, and he's worked it full. Showing off that patience that the Astros love. Walker waits on deck as Paredes waits on the 8th pitch from Yamamoto. What a walk. First and second with one away. Let's get a word from Echo.
It's time to go yard. Echo, power on and on.
Yamamoto 4 walks against the Marlins last week, just 5 in his first 5 starts combined. Paredes earned that one. As much about his patience as it was anything Yamamoto did wrong. So first and second, one away in a 1-0 game. And Christian Walker, who struggled mightily in his first year in Houston last year, looks like a different guy this year. Top 10 average, on base plus slugging, and in runs batted in.
He seems to always do well against the Dodger uniform.
There's graphic proof.
Exactly.
29 home runs in 93 games. On this 1-0 pitch, tapped into the glove, 1-1. Everybody getting hurt. Astros are holding their breath on Saturday. Hottest hitter here in Walker took a fastball to the head and was okay. He's back in there the next day, had 2 more hits. That one ties him up, and it's 1-2. Remember, this is the guy that got hit in the face by Kenta Maeda back in Arizona. Knocked him out for a month. Liquid diet for several weeks. Broke his jaw. So that's scary for any hitter, but imagine a guy that's gone through that already. Hospital stay, the broken jaw. Yamamoto again has him at 2 strikes, looking for that put-away pitch. He's thrown 9 2-strike pitches today. Still looking for that first strikeout. And you're touching on it against Miami. This is part of the deal as well. Strikeouts were down, and 4 of the 5 hits that he gave up came with 2 strikes.
And the soft stuff so far is edgy or a ball.
Just outside and works it full.
A good shot, but it was a ball. But the splitter and the slider and the curveball have all been kind of borderline or ball out of hand, and so he's not getting the chase.
Here's his 3-2. He got him. That sinker had teeth.
The sinker has outperformed the four-seamer. The four-seamer really got on the chart last year because the off-speed stuff was so good that he would light people up in the upper part of the strike zone because they were so intimidated by the splitter and the curveball and the slider.
Yeah, and if he and the Dodgers get 7 or more of those today, everybody gets the free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. And as you hear from these Astros fans, they don't see the 248 average when Jose Altuve comes up. They see a franchise icon. He pokes one to right field. Tucker comes on, won't get there. Astros have tied it. Altuve knocks in Alvarez. 1-1 in the first.
The breaking ball looks a little lazy in live action. We'll see on the replay, but I think it's kind of up and out there. And if it's sharper and down, yeah, if it's a little sharper and a little bit more down, he can't get it off the end of the bat, but it is a decent first pitch strike, and it's not hit well, but same type of run the Dodgers scored. Loop hit after the bases got packed a little bit.
First and third for the rookie Matthews. Shows bunt, takes a ball that gets by Will Smith. Paredes to the plate, and the Astros take the lead.
Squares to bunt. Will kind of misses it. I don't know if they'll call it a wild pitch, but it's there in the air. Will tell you he should have caught it. Yamamoto will tell you that he should have threw a better pitch. It does not work out. This is what is known as bad presentation.
Altuve took second. 2-0 on Matthews. Bad presentation and a bad time for it after you win yesterday and put an end to the bad vibes that I think everybody was feeling. Put an inning into this game and have that bad taste again.
Astros are doing a good job being disciplined because we are so used to Yamamoto just dotting corners. Now the ball is starting on the corner for both sides and missing off the plate. He missed that one across the plate, got the strike.
Matthews flies this curve into right center field for Andy Pages. And that'll do it for the Astros in the first, but they get two. Both teams getting in the scoring column in the first inning.
Along the way.
Baseball bingo already in this game. You got a dunk shot base hit, bringing the Dodgers run. You got another dunk shot base hit here. It's maybe not bingo, just not exactly the prettiest inning of scoring.
Baseball's a beautiful game, but sometimes you got to show the ugly part to know how beautiful it is when it's played right.
That's right. Polarities. 2-1, Houston in front as Kim leads off this second for the Dodgers against Ryan Weiss, who he faced off with back in the KBO. Second season in the big leagues for Kim. Man, has he been good. 2 for 2 with a run knocked in and a run scored yesterday. Knocked in a run in their first rally. Scored a run as they tacked on late. Bounces this one back to Weiss for the first down of the second.
As you get to some of these, what would be considered on other teams roster fillers, all of our guys with Kim's resume and needing to respond to last year have really improved. Freeland, one of them. Kim, one of them. Amazing what Alex Call's done. Miguel Rojas continues to be good.
See, aforementioned Freeland here with the bases empty and 1 out, taking a strike from the 29-year-old rookie Ryan Weiss. 6 years in the minors with the Diamondbacks, and the Royals got really close. He's sitting there at AAA but couldn't quite break through, and then got released. Wanted to keep playing, so he went into independent ball. The High Point Rockers in High Point, North Carolina. From there to Taiwan to Korea, and spent 2 years pitching in Korea and being mentored by Hyunjin Ryu. He said, look, Hyunjin doesn't throw 100 either. If he can do it, I can do it too. This 97-98 you're seeing from him today, that's not what you usually have with Weiss. Normally he's got several different pitches, 94-95 control. but dominating over there in Korea. Helped him get a one-year contract with the Astros. And the perspective that he took from watching Ryu do it the way he does it is what has fueled all that. Freeland sends one the other way. That carries towards the Crawford boxes and goes. Perfect place to hit that fly ball to left field here in Houston. And Freeland has tied it at 2.
It's been a while since we've seen a 4-base hit.
Snaps a 6-game homerless drought for the Dodgers, was their longest in 12 years. And it's the 9-hitter with his second of the year to do it.
Well, the bottom of the order has been productive even through the slumping days. And here Freeland showing off some power. That ball does not have a lot of side spin. That backspin that helped it carry out of here.
Tied up, and Ohtani takes the ball inside. Freeland and Kim, it's like they got their own little boxing match going on, knowing that Mookie Betts is coming. First one for Freeland since the second game of the year.
First inning, it took 3 2-out hits to score a run. Dodgers pretty much middle of the pack with 2-out RBIs. In all of Major League Baseball this year. Last year it was 2-out magic.
(3-0) to Ohtani, and a 4-pitch walk for Shohei. Ohtani aboard. Freeman coming up. Struck out on 3 pitches his first time, and you figure he's happy to have the opener, Okert, out of there. And the righty Weiss in. On the 1-0 pitch, Freeman fouls it off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
After swinging at that breaking ball way away in his last at bat and striking out, it looked like Freddie right there really trying to stay back and let the ball get deep. Completely different now with a right-handed breaking ball on the mound compared to the left-handed one.
Backdoor breaker right there. 1-2. Check on Ohtani, who Dave Roberts says will hit tomorrow in addition to pitching.
If I was the Astros, I'd pick off every time he got on. We want wear and tear on his body today because he's got to pitch tomorrow.
Two to Freeman. His second strikeout.
Freddie will tell you that one was worse than the one against the lefty because this is a hanger that he can reach, and it's just saying hit me, but he misses it.
And with a look back at the catcher as if to say, how did I miss that? 2 outs for Will Smith. That was the situation in the first inning when Smith singled. And it came in to score the run. Ohtani's got a good lead. Not going. Ball and a strike. Four steals for Shohei and his many tries this year. to deep left center field. Matthews going back at the wall. Can't get it. Had it in his glove, but it popped out, and the Dodgers have taken the lead right back. Ohtani's in to score on a smash off of the bat of Will Smith.
He said the mechanics and the swing feel better. I just need to find some hits. I would think that the official scorer is going to give him a double on this. There's a home run in a few ballparks. But here, a little clank off the glove. Double. Off the heel of the glove. Had plenty of height on the jump.
Strike on Teoscar Hernandez.
Dodgers finding some 2-out RBIs.
There's another one way up there. Not quite as far, though. And that'll do it for the Dodgers in the second. They tie it on a home run from Alex Freeland. They take the lead and a double from Will Smith. Back and forth we go.
Don't miss Play Ball Weekend coming up June 5th through the 7th, encouraging youth everywhere to get out and play. You can visit playball.org to register for a free event near you.
Well, Yamamoto, after a 28-pitch first inning, most pitches he's thrown in an inning this year, goes back to work. Finally has some run support here. A 3-2 lead even after giving up the 2 runs in that long first inning. Bottom of the order, Cam Smith leads off. Yamamoto quickly ahead of 1-2.
He's got to get in the zone to cut that pitch count down. Only 11 pitches of 28 were in the zone. He got 5 chases. That helped him out. But, yeah, he needs to get more in the zone, and then they will chase even more often.
Cam Smith, talented right fielder. The Astros, who has struggled for a lot of this season, trying to build off a 3-hit day yesterday, though. The game-winning hit at Fenway. And a 10-inning win for the Astros. Smith was drafted in the first round by the Cubs in 2024. Traded in the Kyle Tucker deal before last year, and after 32 games in the minors, was the opening day right fielder. Swings and misses at a sinker here for strike 3. One out in the second, and Zach Cole with his first at-bat of the year. Lifts the first pitch he sees to center field for Pages. 2 up, 2 down. But it's run support we're talking about being a nice change of pace for Yamamoto. 3 runs in an inning plus today. He'd gotten 4 runs of support while he was in the game in his last 3 starts.
It can make you relax. Right now, what's making him relax? The fact that 5 pitches, 2 outs. Have a quick inning to respond to that 28-pitch inning.
Yes, what the doctor ordered. Christian Vasquez, late addition to the lineup today. Takes a curve for a strike. It was supposed to be Yainer Diaz. He's scratched with some core tightness. And so Vasquez is plugged in there. And the veteran's been excellent, hitting .333 after signing with the Astros during spring training. Jammed. Rolled it to second. 7-pitch second inning. Yamamoto. By authority of the Los Angeles Dodgers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Dodgers. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Visit Kia.com to discover movement that inspires. And by Hawaiian Airlines. Hawaii starts here. Dodgers have a 3-2 lead with a run in the first and 2 in the second. On to the top of the third, and Kyle Tucker, who started the scoring with a ball that he thought was going to be caught easily, landed in shallow left field, extended his on-base streak to 11 games. Zach Cole left has had an adventure out there. Tucker swings at the first pitch and fouls it back.
goes off your glove. You go on a blooper, you go back, and it should have came in. That is the hardest play. Other than a line drive right at the center fielder that's got the knuckleball spin, the hardest play is the full from a power hitter off the end of the bat. The jam shot not as hard as the one off the end of the bat. End of the bat could be the barrel.
There's the barrel. Right field and goodbye. Hello to Kyle Tucker and goodbye to the baseball. In his return to Houston, he's gone deep. How good does that have to feel?
Well, RBI 17 on the year was a soft contact one. RBI 18 on the year was loud contact.
Ball on Muncy. First hit, 68 miles per hour. That hit, 107. He's been getting on base. Talk about the on-base streak. That's his first multi-hit game, though, since the first game of the 11-game on-base streak. And only his 5th as a Dodger. So he's looking to have more of those performances where he stacks the hits up, does damage like that. Muncy trying to follow with one of his own towards the corner. Hooking and caught by Smith. Almost overran it.
We are indoors, but a lot of these outfielders are playing like there's big wind.
Yeah. Get another look at the home run.
Inner half heater, and he turns on it, and he did not miss it. It wasn't high, but it was long.
Strike on Pajes. Tucker has reached 20 home runs 5 consecutive seasons. First few years here in Houston, he was back and forth. Those were those super teams the Astros had late part of the decade. He had a hard time solidifying his spot, even as a top draft pick. He was the 5th overall pick, big-time prospect, just couldn't quite break through. And he and Dusty Baker had a great relationship. Dusty came here in 2020 and took over. And Tucker thrived under Dusty, became an everyday guy, became a perennial all-star. Pajes cracks the line drive into left center field for a hit of his own.
I know we've gone back to the home run, and I know Pajes just hit a line drive, but I was impressed with the facial expressions from Kyle Tucker on the bench, talking to his teammates. That was the fun part. Here's another fun part. Pajes joins the parade of hits. He has looked much better in the last 5 or 6 days as far as his pitch selection and his swing.
I thought you were getting excited. There's Brock Stewart.
Oh, that's true, too. All right.
Figures to be activated soon. Kim takes a strike. I mentioned Kim faced off with Ryan Weiss in the KBO 2 years ago. I asked him today, how did it go? And he said, not good. Sweeper. Got me. Hits today. I don't want to put Dean out of a job, but I don't know if Hesong needs an interpreter. His English is really impressive.
Don't say anything. Don't tell anybody. What's more impressive than that is Kim, just the way he's become a much better baseball player. I think he's really this year proven he is a big leaguer. I mean, just like Justin Robleski and the pitching performances he's put out, that Dave Roberts says, you know, it doesn't matter where he is. If he ends up in the rotation, staying there, or wherever in the bullpen, what he has done is proven he's a big league pitcher. And I think Kim has done the same thing.
That's a big deal when you're talking about not just those two guys, but the emergence of this young group of players. Because a lot of the talk coming into the year, if you were poking holes, was this roster is old. How sustainable is it? There's a shot to right field, a screamer of a base hit for Kim.
Last year you could knock the bat out of his hands. This year he is turning on high fastballs and staying on top of them. He's shown great speed. He's shown an unbelievable arm, the range at short, and now he's showing pop, the strength, and all the training that he's done. It's really starting to look special.
A visit from the pitching coach, Josh Miller. And now Freeland comes up. Performance Spotlight sponsored by your Southern California Nissan dealers. And speaking of young guys getting it done, Freeland goes deep. First home run since his first game of the year. And I think it wasn't just the hope, it's the need that some of these young guys start to take steps forward. Yeah, you can go out and you can purchase players, and they've done that and shown willingness to continue to do that. But the sustainable model is to have guys come through your system, be cost controllable players that you can plug in.
Not only is that a backdrop for a great organization to have so many different places that can feed your big league roster, including free agency and trades, but with the backdrop of the new CBA on the horizon, of knowing that, you know, where are we going to be with the new rules as far as the basic agreement. And so, yeah, you want to keep your options as flexible as possible and your organization as healthy as possible.
Man, oh man, they better figure that whole thing out.
Yeah.
The game is in such a great place.
We're indoors, and I just put a cloud over it a little bit.
Let's live in the moment. What we got is a great state of baseball.
We sure do. More popular than ever. And we happen to be in the eye of the storm, as the rest of baseball would say. The Dodgers are it.
I'm talking to people about covering this team. I've made the reference before. It's like, yeah, I get to cover basically the 90s Bulls. Yeah. This is the kind of team that they make documentaries about. They write big books about.
Well, they've written 2 chapters. It'll be a big book. They get the 3rd chapter in there.
Pages at second, Kim at first. Ohtani waits on deck. Freeland takes the walk, and they're loaded up for Ohtani. So nowhere to put him. The offense has started to break out. The 4 runs yesterday, already 4 runs today. Waiting on that loud sound from Shohei Ohtani. Ball 1. Vasquez imploring Weiss. Weiss is saying, I hear you, but I don't want to give him anything too good to hit. Slaps one left side. Paredes to go to second. 1. Throw to first is late. Ohtani aboard on a fielder's choice, and Pages comes in to make it 5-2.
Shohei will get an RBI, but he will tell you he wished he hit it a little differently. Off the end of the bat, he is letting the ball get a little deeper. He is hitting it to the opposite field, and he does get an RBI.
Just the 14th of the year for Ohtani. Freeman, who struck out both times, takes a ball.
2 times through the order. This is the guy that hasn't reached. Everybody else in the Dodger lineup has.
Dodgers 5 runs in the bank, even though Ohtani and Freeman together are 0 for 4.
This is the kind of offensive output that we thought we would see coming into this ballpark after the win yesterday. Kind of an ugly inning on defense to get to this scoreboard, but the production has been there so far.
There There's the line drive base hit for Freddie Freeman to join the party. Came in easily. The ball kicks away. And Ohtani's going to score all the way from first. 7 runs for the Dodgers. And we're only in the third.
Well, they were kind of in a massive funk, all of them together, and maybe they're starting to have a massive hot streak as far as the hitters. These kind of things are contagious.
1 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the third for a team that was averaging about 2 runs per game lately. Smith, who's already 2 for 2, takes a strike. Everybody's been involved this part of the order, especially 3 through 5, 5 out of 6. That's Smith, Hernandez, Kyle Tucker. A hanging breaking pitch and slapped it foul. Weiss is going to have to wear it for the Astros, whose bullpen is heavily used. Played 4 games or 5 games the last 4 days because they had a doubleheader to finish off their series in Baltimore, and they got used a bunch. 20 innings over those 4 days. Smith is down swinging at the high fastball, and that does it for the Dodgers in the third. They'd scored 11 runs the previous 5 games. They've got 7 the first 3 innings in Kyle Tucker's return to Houston.
La Playa awaits.
7, the number of runs of support for Yamamoto, and the number of pitches that he needed to get through the second inning after the longest inning of the year in the first. Back to the top of the order, and Correa taking a ball.
If you have an inning over 25 pitches or more, and then your next inning is under 10, it should be called a Kershaw.
I like that.
As that is Clayton. 28 pitches. He comes back with a 7-pitch inning. That is very much like the Claw.
The Claw.
I couldn't believe that on Baseball Reference it says that's one of his nicknames.
I couldn't believe you went with it.
I know. I just like popped in my head from his page. Kirsch. A Kirsch.
The Claw.
What else is up there?
Kid K.
Yeah, where do they get these?
The Minotaur? I've never I know what a Minotaur is.
I know. I mean, is this like from grade school? No, not Minotaur.
2-2.
Nice cutter. That's the kind we're looking for, where he looks like it's in the middle of the plate, ends up on the edges. Lately, the command has been more, it looks like it's on an edge, ends up a ball.
A Minotaur has the head and the tail of a bull and the body of a man.
I hope Clayton's watching tonight.
I always thought he looked like he had the what is it, head and tail of a bull and the body of a man.
Clayton, if you were listening, or any of the kids, text us.
Swing and a miss. Splitter dances by him.
The last 3 pitches were starting in the middle, ending up on the edge, and what do we get? The whiff percentage goes up. Look at that ball. Yep. As you're going to start the bat, you get your cutter and your slider and your splitter all starting in the middle, and then working to an edge, you're going to get the swing and miss.
One away for Yordan Alvarez, who singled his first time and came in to score. He takes a strike at the knees on a sinker. A little bit in.
This is the kind of guy that you want to make sure they start on the edge.
6'4", 250 pounds. Ahead 2-1, just does not budge. 10% strikeout rate. And when you sort the leaderboard like that and look at the guys with the best strikeout rates and then put home runs next to it, his number stands out like a sore thumb. Because the guys that have 10% strikeout rates typically don't also have homers. 2-2. Flip it around. You look at the guys, the home run leaderboard, and then look over at the strikeout rate. Always in the 20s, the low 30s. Usually you're sacrificing the bat, the ball, in order to hit those home runs. Remember Dusty Baker saying when first got here to Houston, this is a hitter before it's a slugger. Don't let the frame deceive you. This is a true hitter who happens to slug. Two from Yamamoto. Alvarez takes inside and the count goes full. Singled with 2 strikes his first time on a sinker. Now Jordan missed almost all of last year with a hand injury, and this is just, they're not the same when he's not in there. His presence and then what it just means for the length of the lineup. And they finished a game out of the playoffs. Missed the playoffs for the first time in about a decade. Had they had him, no question that would have made the one-game difference. He's 2 for 2 with a pair of 2-strike singles to right.
They're not going to the same location. They are not going with the same speed. They are mixing it up completely, and he still finds a way to hit this really good splitter. It's on the outer half down. It's not the sharpest of pitches, but boy, a very good swing after an up-and-in fastball.
One on, one out for Paredes. Had a nice easy swing, 2 strikes, 113-mile-per-hour line drive. Strike on the inside corner.
Hitter slash slugger.
Mm-hmm.
It's very impressive, whatever it is.
Down to third. Muncy to second. Freeland to first. Double play. Maximum distance going around the horn. We go to the 4th.
First 40,000 fans in attendance on May 8th will receive a Miguel Rojas Game 7 home run bobblehead presented by Security Benefit. For information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
4, 5, and 6 for the Dodgers. They have 7 runs through 3 innings in this game. And Teoscar Hernandez takes ball 1 from Ryan Weiss.
7 is the lucky number, right? This is Yamamoto's 7th start. They got 7 runs for him. The 6 prior, 11 total. Thank you for the support tonight, boys.
It's easy to say that felt like it was time for this, but it was starting to feel like a crazy breakout game was coming.
Well, the equation's right. It's a hitter's ballpark with a bad pitching staff right now. We got a little challenge coming on.
ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Pitches the ball, he's 1 count already.
So 3-0 on Hernandez. Single and a flyout today. Kyle Tucker not the only guy making a return to Houston. This is where Hernandez debuted. 2016 came up, made his debut for the Astros in Toronto, but hit a home run in his very first game. Ouch.
barefoot's not fun. Don't wear the padding there usually.
Putting weight on it, making sure that everything's sound there. Sends away Dave Roberts and Thomas Albert. That gets back in there. Woo, he says. 3-0 to 3-2 with a bruise. Ouch is what Teoscar was saying in his last game as an Astro. Told the story before, but he got called up his second year with the team, and in his very first inning collided with Jose Altuve and never played for the Astros again. Take strike 3 here. Got traded to Toronto while he was on the injured list, but always grateful for Astros giving him a chance when he wasn't sure that he was ever going to get that chance. Teoscar tried out for team after team after team, year after year, trying to make an impression on scouts. And he's small at that point, light hitting, not overly impressive, but the Astros were the ones that said, we think you got something. Tucker rolls one left side. Paredes charges and throws him out, 2 away. Let's get a word from Jack in the Box.
Get my new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal for a chance to win $75,000. Welcome to Jack in the Box.
When scouts are in the stands, they are getting to know people's parents, the players, because they want to know if a growth spurt's coming. They want to know if what I'm seeing on the field, what's dad look like? What's mom look like? Is there a possible growth spurt? They even talk to the parents, like, are there any people that are over 6 foot in your family, like an uncle or somebody, your grandfather? They want to know all that kind of stuff, and they want to know the makeup of the parents and how the child thinks. It's one of the next levels of scouting. So if you got a kid that's really good and you happen to be maybe a little smaller in stature, you might want to rent a dad, talk to the scouts. Somebody 6'4", 220.
Almost hits him. 3-1 on Muncy.
Mark Rippiger back behind home plate's gotten a couple balls off of him.
Good sinker. 3-2.
Really good. Right down the middle, and then bottom dropped out of it.
Payoff pitch. Ball 4. Second walk earned by Muncy. And 4 for the team, adding to the Astros' record pace.
And 1 an inning. It's not good when you're setting the table for a great offense like the Dodgers.
By far the most walks issued of any team. Also the most hit by pitches of any pitching staff. Makes for some painful games. Now, it's painful going 14-21 period, but when that's the biggest reason why it's happening, that's extra painful. Pages takes outside. He's 1 for 2. Singleton scored last inning.
I've said it before, but when offense falls short, it's a long night. When pitching falls short, it's a long year, and that's what we're kind of looking at for Houston. They got to get healthy on the staff.
Hunter Brown, their ace, is out. Josh Hader, their closer, is out. They have 5 starting pitchers that are on the injured list currently. Get off me ball. Rolls over to first base, and Christian Walker takes it himself. And the first 0 put up by Astros pitching.
Join Join the Dodgers on May 13th for World Champion Gold Jersey Night. The first 40,000 fans will score an exclusive gold jersey. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
We're in the bottom of the fourth inning here in Houston. Joe Davis, or Hershiser, Kirsten Watson. Yamamoto gave up 2 runs in the first inning and has faced the minimum in the 2 innings since. That's ball 1 on Christian Walker. Struck out Walker his first time up. Most years, that's nothing to write home about. This year, that's newsworthy. Christian Walker's cut his strikeout rate more than any hitter in baseball. Sharply hit down to third. Muncy stabs it and throws him out. When we talk about Max Muncy being the best Dodger right now, it's not just at the plate. His defense has been airtight.
Yeah, starting that double play in the last inning was really well done. It was a routine double play because he fielded the ball and got rid of it so quickly. And right here, that side saddle action you just saw there so he could get it in the glove, that's what the way they teach it. Give you that third angle on the ball to be able to read that hop, which right there, that top spin hop was a tough one.
1 gone. Here's Altuve. Knocked in the first run for the Astros. An opposite field hit in the first inning. Altuve comes in just 146 over his last 10 games. Been a decline the last few years. Career .305 hitter. They're saying that the ball hit him when he was in fair territory, but home plate umpire Mark Ripperger saying But a career .305 hitter. 265 last year was his career worst, and 254 this year. Always been aggressive, but even more so last year. Chased more than ever. And out of the gates this year looked like he was adopting a new patient approach. He walked a bunch the first 2 weeks. That's gone away, though. I mean, you're rarely going to see a guy in his 16th year suddenly put on new stripes. And it's part of what has been magical about him, too. Swings and misses at the high fastball. Swings himself out of his helmet. Yamamoto's 4th strikeout.
Altuve down on strikes. Yamamoto really has made a huge adjustment after the first inning where he was at 57% strikes. Well, since then he is 75% strikes.
28 pitches in the first inning and 29 pitches to go almost 3 innings from there. Bryce Matthews, 2 outs, bases empty. Lollipop of a curve and a strike.
Jeez. He's there now. He's back to being Yamamoto. Everything kind of starting in the middle and then having a lot of action. Not just with 1 pitch, almost all of them.
Curve and then a splitter and another to strike him out. 1-2-3 inning on 9 pitches.
Oncologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by your Toyota dealers. We make it easy. That's a ball on Ha-Seong Kim. 8-9-1 coming up for LA in the top of the 5th. Kim 1 for 2. Scorched a single his first time or his last time and came in to score. Talk about his strength and really showing it this year. Always big and strong. You see his legs. But he says his swing before making the swing changes didn't take advantage of that. And he started to try and do that more last year. But on the fly was not easy, so doubled down on those changes this offseason to try and engage that strong lower half. Lofts a fly ball to left field, where it has been adventure land for Cole. He's got it this time. One of the strongest guys on the team, Kim. Squat 450 3 times. Lifts every day. You know about that life.
Yeah, I squat 350 three times, but I break it up to like 25-pound increments.
Strike on Freeland.
Getting up and out of the chair. It's interesting what you say about the strength of his lower half, because that is where really all athletic ability.
That's a base hit into right center field for Freeland. He's reached all 3 times.
Got a little flashback here on some power before we show you this roller up the middle. The second inning, he goes deep. Backspins it to the opposite field. We'll take it.
And now,
a little carom off the mound helped him get it away from the shortstop.
Ohtani, who has a walk and a pair of runs scored, looking for his first hit. He and Muncy, the only guys in the lineup without hits in this game.
You talked about Kim's lower half being so strong, but Ohtani, I think, is working on his lower half. One of the hitting tips that is throughout baseball, but possibly specific to Shohei, is just getting the lower half engaged a little bit more. Getting off of it and using it. Because what the lower half does, the upper half responds to. So if you can have the engine working in the lower half, then the upper body adjustments become a lot easier. You don't want your upper body to be the engine and the accuracy. You'd rather it just be the accuracy and kind of the fine tuning. The lower half be the engine. The upper half is the engine and the accuracy. You get a lot of rollover ground balls. A lot of arm swings, a lot of handsy finishes. The upper body will stay a little quieter if the lower body's getting it done.
That's his second walk today. And here's Freddie Freeman.
You do have to walk before you hit, right? Because you got to have good pitch selection. If they're not giving it to you, you got to take your walk. You got to force them into the strike zone later.
Walk before you run and walk before you hit.
Yep.
Freeman struck out in the first inning and the second inning, but then a line drive base hit to knock in a run his last time. Took second on an error at Cam Smith, the right fielder. Second run came in to score on that play. 0-1 to Freeman. Fouled off, strike 2. Freddie chance here in Houston. Never ceases to amaze me how much Dodger fans make their presence felt.
Freddie's still shaking his head at himself because he got an up pitch that he thought he should have squared up and got it on the barrel.
Single and a walk to put him at first and second. 1 and 2 on Freeman. Weiss comes home, and Freddie golfs one to right center field. That's another hit for him. Freeland's in to score. Second RBI single to the game for Freddie Freeman, and they've got 8.
When it was up and away from him, he fouled it off and shook his head. This one's a breaking ball, ends up more on the inner half, and he stays down and through it. That has been his sweet spot as he's crawled his way out of this slump, is the down and in pitch about knee-high inner half where he's been able to handle it.
1 in the first, 2 in the second, 4 in the third, and now a run here in the 5th. Weiss is getting close to the end of the line here. This is right about where his pitch count is built up to, and a bullpen that has been heavily used the last few days going to get taxed again tonight. Let's get a word from Morongo.
Midland, live July 18th. Get tickets now. Morongo.
Smith 2 for 3. Single, double, RBI, run scored. Stuff in the stat sheet, as is the team. 8 runs on 11 hits and 5 walks.
It's another gut punch that the Dodgers delivering to this Houston pitching staff, and it is the best time to do it. Game 1. And if you can get deep into the pen, it makes it a lot easier and a lot tougher on the Astros as far as who's coming in. A lot easier for the Dodgers.
Ohtani and Peter Lambert tomorrow from the Colorado Rocky. Glasnow and McCullers wrap up the series. That's a day game on Wednesday. Tomorrow's game, same time, same place, 5:10 LA time. 11:15 Wednesday. Weiss struck Smith out with a high fastball his last time. That's where he went right there, but Smith stayed alive. Ohtani at third, Freeman at first. A run in the bank here in the 5th. Weiss's 0-2 pitch. Driven down the right field line, but foul.
They tried to go back to the well right there, go high and away with a fastball. This one Will could reach, and the at bat where he struck out, it was well off the plate. He didn't reach it at all.
A little bit of everything in this game for the Dodger offense. 11 hits, the 5 walks. 3 of the 11 hits have been with runners in scoring position. 2 of them have been home runs. First 2 they've had in a week. 5 guys have knocked in a run. 6 guys have scored a run. 7 have gotten a hit. It's like Oprah at Christmas. Back to that high fastball, and Smith went around for strike 3. Two out for Hernandez.
Teo, one of those 7 guys that have gotten hits. Base hit in his first at bat. Fly out and a strikeout looking. They're going to get plenty of ABs tonight.
Back to him. Recovers and ends the inning. Dodgers get another, though. Freddie Freeman drives in his 2nd run of the night. Halfway home in an 8-2 game.
Every step along the way.
Happy obscure Dodger birthday to Sid Gautreau. Sid Pudge Gautreau, they called him. A catcher and a pinch hitter for the Dodgers for a couple years in the 1930s. Cam Smith leads off and tried to at least, but the ball caught the bat, and it's strike 1 in an 8-2 game here in the 5th. So Sid had some time with the team, but then World War II came. A lot of guys that paused their careers, but for him that was pretty much it. But not about how his career ended as much as how his pro career started. He was 20, growing up in Louisiana, wanted to play baseball, didn't really have a team that would take him, but then he got wind that the nearby Louisiana State Insane Asylum was looking for players. It was a deep drive to center field. Pages makes the catch. Smith gives it a ride, but Pages in front of the wall hauls it in.
Let's see the catch. Good timing on the jump. Nice soft hands. Deflects from the fingers into the webbing.
Pa has great range for the first out of the 5th, and Zach Cole comes out.
It was a great tease about Pudge right there with the penitentiary.
Yeah, even a little scarier than that. The insane asylum.
Insane asylum, whatever.
Short on players, willing to pay. Okay, I'm interested. There's got to be a catch, though, right?
Yeah.
Well, Sid, there is. We'll pay you to play for the team, but to be eligible, you got to live here.
Oh, no.
So Sid moved into the insane asylum to play for their baseball team.
Got to be a resident.
Hospitals, and he had to be a resident. They put him in a safe quarter.
That's
but
nice.
That's how Sid got his start. Technically his first pro baseball. 2-2.
You're getting paid and rent's included.
Right. What
housing
is there? Don't worry about it.
It's like travel ball from out of town.
Controlling the staff was really difficult for that catcher. Cole down the right field line towards the corner and gone. Zach Cole in his first major league game of the year has gone deep.
When the scoreboard is out of balance, you do want to attack, and at 90 miles an hour, Yama, after he sees it hit, he looks like he's adjusting his hat, but I think he's really just like, oh no.
A little bit away on Christian Vasquez. Cole made a good impression when he came up for a few weeks last year. He had 4 home runs in 15 games and had ambitions of making the roster out of spring training this year, but really bad spring. Starts in AAA, breaks his toe, his 3rd day in AAA, so has hardly played this season. A few games getting tuned up down in AAA and then activated just this afternoon. The 1-1 to Vasquez. In for a strike. Vasquez, who won it all with the Astros in 2022. Deadline pickup from Boston that year. Has spent the last 3 years in Minnesota, but back here to Houston. And hitting as well as he ever has at the age of 35. She tries again with a 1-2 to Vasquez. Got him with the elevated fastball up to 97 that time. His 6th.
This is the home run, and there's some Astro fans that want this souvenir. A little bit of a battle. Who's going to win it?
Shohei.
Little kid got it.
Low man wins.
Oh, he's the champion. Like Lion King there at the end.
Let me see.
Have you ever watched the documentary on the making of Lion King?
When the 2 on Korea, I haven't.
When they're going over the script and then some of the original songs, and the cast they're there and they're just rehearsing, and the people from Africa that were brought in to be on Broadway started bawling as they were singing their nation's songs in their native tongue. It was really moving.
Have you seen Lion King on Broadway?
Oh, yes.
How is it?
A few times. It's amazing.
Got him swinging. Second time he's struck out Correa today. Gives up the home run, but plenty of cushion tonight. 8-3. Back-to-back world champion Dodger baseball on SportsNet LA is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Jack's new Smash Jack Sliders Munchie Meal with a chance to win the $75,000 prize for Jack's 75th anniversary. Kyle Tucker continues to hear the Boo Birds. 2 for 3 today. RBI single and a home run. Kai-Wei Tang, the former San Francisco Giant, is on to face him. Home plate umpire Mark Ripperger there looking over to the Dodger dugout. Not sure why. Fly ball center field. Matthews makes a nice play.
It's another one of those full swings, but a little off balance off the end of the bat from a power hitter, but he made a very nice break there in center field to make sure he got that one.
What's it like going back to a place where you played for so long, playing your old team?
I did it once with the Dodgers. Came back in a Giant uniform. Leading up to the game, it feels different because you know it's kind of going to be awkward. It's awkward to come in on a bus instead of your car and park in the team parking lot. It's awkward to turn an opposite way when you come down the elevator and go into the visiting locker room, which is never pointed at the same level as the home locker room. When you get to do whatever you're going to do as a hitter or as a pitcher, and you get into your batting practice, you get into your warm-ups, and the game starts, it's baseball again. The odd part now coming back to me, because you asked me, is when you see your friends in the batter's box. So I guess for a hitter, it's a little different depending on who's pitching. But yeah, usually, 3 to 4 or 5 guys maybe you would know that you're going to face, or you're close to. And I thought for a pitcher, the least intimidating thing for the hitter now is they know I'm not going to hit him. If you buzz the tower for some reason, they pretty much know it was a mistake. Tower buzzers reminds me of the new A-ball team of the Dodgers out in Ontario.
Beautiful park, I hear.
Unbelievable park. All you'd have to do is put one more deck on it, and it's a AAA facility.
Wow.
Yeah, the guts and the decorations and everything. Yeah, the quality of the construction. It's big league. Definitely big league.
Just down the road, relatively speaking. Fans in L.A. want to go see some of the future.
That's where the Dodger players most of the time are going to be out on rehab assignment. They'll go to Okie City AAA, but, for the close by building your innings like Blake Snell, who's there in Ontario or in the A-Ball California League.
Speaking of, Kirsten, what do you got in the way of update?
Yeah, Joe, so we have actually quite a few guys that are working their way back. You mentioned, of course, Brock Stewart being here with the team. Dave Roberts, that he could be activated in this series. But we have other guys, whether it's Kike Hernandez should be starting his rehab assignment very soon, likely this week. Someone like Mookie Betts is actually going to be taking part of a live BP. That's going to be on Thursday. And then after that, he should be starting a rehab assignment as well, guys.
All right. That's when those tough decisions will happen. What to do between Kim and Freeland. Pages comes up here. And every time we talk about Kim doing something well, you look down and Alex Freeland is 2 for 2 with a home run and a walk. We were talking about this yesterday, but that's what makes it so hard is that, yeah, Kim has been dynamic and brings a lot of life, brings a lot of energy, but Freeland won the job in spring training. Kim came up because of an injury. Alex has done nothing to justify losing his spot.
And the even harder thing is that all these guys that are not in our normal starting lineup would probably be starting for other clubs.
Blessing and the curse.
And you're playing for a great organization that has a chance to win a 3rd world championship in a row, but you're getting fewer at bats than if you were in another uniform.
Two and one on Pages, who has done that difficult thing of establishing himself as a young player on this roster.
And last year, I thought he should have made the All-Star team. I think a lot of other people thought so too. But he hasn't let that stop his concentration, want to get better.
Drives this ball deep right center field. Matthews, leaping catch. Wow! Bryce Matthews.
The range, the timing, what an athlete. Well done.
Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
8 runs on 11 hits for the Dodgers, 3 runs on 4 hits for the Astros. Yamamoto has 7 strikeouts in this game, and so everybody gets that free Jumbo Jack tomorrow with the purchase of a large drink. Munch on that while you watch Ohtani try to follow this outing.
Yama's had only 1 pitch out of his arsenal that has disappointed him. It's the cutter. They're 3 for 4 with a home run off it. Everything else 1 for 14, and those 7 Ks that are giving you the Jumbo Jacks.
And the whiff percentage way back up tonight. Strike 1 on Yordan Alvarez, who has 2 of the 4 hits for Houston. The season high swing and miss stuff.
Yep, the pattern has been much better as far as starting it in the middle and then having a lot of action on the other pitches.
Fastballs by Alvarez.
Sinker at 96, but it was more of a 2-seamer. I like the ones that tail. I like calling them 2-seamers. The sinkers actually should have to go down, I think.
You are an authority on that. Strikes him out this time. Number 8 for Yamamoto.
Well, the 2-seamer prior to this started down the middle and then the tailing action high and away. This one, he just dots right on the corner.
And since the longest inning of the season for him by pitches, he's faced just 1 more than the minimum. The first inning gave up those 2 runs, had to throw 28 pitches. Here he is with 1 gone in the 6th, rolling. Ball on Paredes. And since the home run that he gave up to Zach Cole last inning, 3 straight Ks, all of them swinging. Sky high. Big league pop-up. Well, it might have hit something over foul ground, and it's a dead ball. Dead ball, foul ball, a strike.
Because
hit
they
one of
feel
the rafters.
I feel like it would have gone out of play, so they just play it as neutral and as a strike. Max Muncy getting a chuckle out of it, though. Look at how my defense has improved. I can even play it off a beam.
Yeah, arena baseball up in here. Strike 2 on Paredes. After talking about him having a hard time putting hitters away against Miami, and then for a lot of the first inning, all 8 of his strikeouts tonight have been swinging. Jumps home with a 1-2.
So the slider goes right to left. The splitter goes left to right. 4-seamer can be at the top of the zone at 97. And then the sinker can run in on him. Which one do you think he's going to get? Get something away right here. Ooh, tried to play the comeback sinker. A little higher, and he had him.
Paredes always a tough at-bat. Worked a long walk in the first inning to extend his on-base streak to 9 games. Waits on this 2-2. We'll do it again.
It's a good-looking at-bat. Yamamoto is on his game, and he is still being a tough out.
Man, he is in some pain tonight. It's not the first ball he's fouled off himself.
Is it the same foot?
It was off like the left shin. First time. Oh my gosh, now the other leg.
Yeah, that's the way he was limping. I'm like, I don't think it was the front leg. Off the knee? Yep.
Oh, left shin, right knee. Jeez. Paredes out of Hermosillo, Mexico. Tigers, Rays, Cubs, Astros. Challenges. I think he might be right.
A little low. The bat challenging the pitch.
Powered by T-Mobile.
Pitches the ball. He says 1 challenge remaining.
And a lineup full of aggressive hitters. The contrast just amplifies how impressive his at-bats are. Two-time All-Star Isaac Paredes on 3-2. Punches one to right field and pays it off with a base hit.
That was an exceptional at-bat.
And to think this is a guy they were trying to trade all offseason. There really was nowhere to play him because he was hurt for a lot of last year. And while he was out, they traded for Carlos Correa, who they have for the long term. Correa's at third, Jeremy Pena's at short, Altuve's at second, Christian Walker's at first with a giant contract. And it took Pena getting hurt to get Paredes back in there every day. One away, Christian Walker. We got Pena coming back in about a week, but the Astros are starting to say we can't live without Paredes' bat in the lineup. Talked to somebody with the Astros today who said he's their Max Muncy, and that everything kind of falls apart when he's not in there because he's the one guy that's extra patient and lets everybody else around him be as aggressive as they want.
It is mentally draining, of course, to give up a hit, but mentally draining when it's in a bat like that. And that will soften the tires of any pitcher.
No big deal for Pages in center field. Walker's on number 2. And it's Altuve. So season high 8 strikeouts for Yamamoto. Just the 1 walk back in the first inning. Two outs in the 6th. Faces Altuve, who's 1 for 2. Bouncing ball to short, and an easy one for Kim. Will shovel it off to Freeland. Finish off 6 strong innings from Yamamoto. Well, the offense yesterday did enough to end the losing streak. 4 runs in St. Louis, but they have come to life today. 8 runs on 11 hits, including the first 2 home runs in a week. Freeland and Tucker both finding the seats for the Dodgers. Top of the 7th inning, Kim leads off. And takes the ball from Tang. Here they are on StatCast.
The good thing is it's not coming from one segment of the lineup or a couple people in the lineup. Everybody's contributing.
That's how you get nights like this. Flip side of that is you get slumps like they've had when everybody kind of falls into a bad spot at the same time.
That's rare for this talented a team. Those 4 games in a row, and maybe even a little before that, the offense was weak, but they were still winning because of the great pitching. But it'll be rare that there's not at least 2 or 3 guys that are swinging the bat well on a nightly basis from the Dodgers.
1-2 to Kim. Kyle Hurt is loosening in the Dodger bullpen. Blake Trinan had gotten up last inning, but he takes a seat and Hurt gets ready. Yamamoto just passed 90 pitches, but a lead this big wouldn't be surprising to see him take over. And seeing that smile, you figure he will take over.
Yeah, he's going to be out, but what a magnificent turnaround after the first inning. Second time he's gone more than 25 pitches in a first inning and then still giving you 6 or more innings. Did that against San Francisco back at the end of April.
I was talking with Dave Roberts before the game, and we were going over what happened against the Marlins in his last start, and Dave was thinking, he said, yeah, he's just so good though. I mean, he's gotten to a point where everybody around him marvels at what he does, and like you said during the pregame show, the bar is set so high. Freeland pokes another hit through, his 3rd of the game. He's been on all 4 times. Bar set so high that you have one off day and everybody's like, what's wrong?
Well, his off day is a normal big league pitcher, you know. His last outing was the first time he hadn't gone 6 innings or more. And so it's like, oh, 5 2/3. What's wrong with him?
Two walks, 2 runs scored, and a run knocked in for Ohtani. Trying to snap an 0 for 16 skid, though. Feels like the last order of business tonight.
Yeah, he needs to get a strike and hit it really loud. All the work that he put in today, get that part paid off, but he does need to get a pitch to hit first. And it is good to see him being disciplined, because you could get frustrated, put all that work in all day, and then all of a sudden, you know, you just like, I want to hit really bad, but he's being strong mentally and waiting for one. Swung at the first pitch of the game and off the end of the bat, but it was a humpback liner to the kind of opposite field. Was a good sign.
Ball 3.
Yeah, I think he might be able to leave the bat on the shoulder, and he's not going to get a strike here. He's looking for something middle in. Hasn't offered it anything away.
Fly to center field for Matthews. 2 out.
It was a nice pass. He just didn't get it completely. And he got what he wanted. Middle in.
2 Ks, 2 singles, 2 runs batted in for Freddie Freeman in this game. Freeland, by the way, over there at first, on base 4 times in a game for the first time in his career. Video game movement. Freddie couldn't lay off. And now the 1-2 pitch. Same thing, but this time too close to him to be enticing.
Ball out of hand.
Third strikeout of the game for Freeman. But an 8-3 lead for the Dodgers as we stand and stretch. Time for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Sit and Sleep.
That's grass.
Roundup for lawns. This stuff works.
Dodger offense exploding today in Houston. 8-3 they lead to the bottom of the 7th inning. And now the bullpen. Call to the bullpen is brought to you by Jacoby and Myers. Kyle Hurt comes in, quietly putting together a really nice season. 4 Major League appearances prior to this year, none of them since 2024. Missed a season with Tommy John surgery, but in the 7 games this year, he's given up just 1 run. Bryce Matthews leads off against him. We saw Matthews make that fantastic leaping play against the wall. Bryce, a first-round draft pick who is from just outside of Houston. Humboldt, Texas. He was a 2-sport star, all-state quarterback on the football team. Baseball was always his biggest passion, though. He went to Nebraska to play that, mostly as an infielder. He's playing outfield for the first time since he was in high school. They say just such a good athlete. He's already valuable out there and just gliding around using that athleticism.
Yeah, he caught that ball in right center like a wide receiver. Play any position.
At 54 touchdowns as a senior quarterback. .5'10", 190 pounds, fast, athletic, but also 1 of every 4 hits in the major leagues for him has been a home run. So there's a lot of jolt in that small frame. Got a leadoff walk here against Hurt. First walk that Hurt has issued in his first 8 games. Brian Abreu. Cam Smith. Yet to build off of yesterday's 3-hit performance. Had a great first half in the major leagues last year. Hit .290 through the first few months. There's a .290 around the All-Star break, but just a $150 in the second half as he wore down, and not hard to see why that may be. Again, opening day roster less than a year after he had been drafted, so 162-game major league season, far beyond anything he had ever experienced, and it took its toll. They still think a star in the making. 6'3", 225, all the tools, all the intangibles as well. And he's another guy who's transitioned to the outfield and made that look easy. It's an absolute moonshot that will go foul. Wow.
Oh my.
We got guys up there in the highest part of the stadium looking like there's no way you just hit that past me. 430, and it feels like it was way farther than 430.
Kyle Hurt's got the high-octane fastball and the outstanding changeup that last pitch at 88.
Strikes him out. Back-to-back changeups after he's way out in front. Thinking that's going to be extra hard to time up for him.
Yeah, you don't turn the field for the hitter. So when they pull something foul, you want to keep it so that you don't bring a speed to them that allows them to hit it in fair territory. You want them to make the biggest adjustment.
Feeling that changeup.
Yeah, fastball's around 96, 97. Changeup down around 88. So it's a high velocity changeup, but it usually has really good action.
And then the fastball turned up to 97.
7 to 9 mile an hour difference. Fastball to changeup usually can get them out in front. 10, 12, 13 mile an hour difference. Get a swing and a miss.
Almost.
You can't practice catching these. They're just good fortune.
Did you hear the news out of Detroit that Tarek Skubal has to have elbow surgery?
Yeah, sad.
Thankfully, it's quote-unquote minor. It's loose body, similar to what Edwin Diaz is undergoing or underwent. And so the Tigers figure to get Skubal back by the end of the season. But Tigers aren't that great. And it's no sure thing that they're still going to be where they want to be when he comes back. Had they continued to not be very good, well, you could have considered trading him and getting a huge haul the final year of his contract. Second strikeout for Hurt. 2 gone in the 7th. That option is now off of the table.
Well, if he comes back in 2 months, don't you think he could have 2 or 3 outings where he proves he's healthy and you still trade him? You might not get quite as much.
I don't know if he's going to be back in. I mean, that would be early July. I guess, yeah, you could
just get enough for a few outings.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's so good. And even if he was on rehab and had a 2 or 3 inning outing and threw the ball well, he would still probably get a lot of interest.
Fly ball center field off of the bat of Christian Vasquez, and that'll do it for the Astros in the 7th.
Shine like the Dodgers.
Be one of the first 40,000 fans on May 11th. Receive a 2025 World Champion Trophy replica presented by Budweiser. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions for more information.
Will Smith to lead off the 8th inning for the Dodgers. Brian Abreu is on the pitch for the Astros. A little bit surprising that he's in there. He pitched the last 2 innings of the game yesterday. Finished things off in Boston. With Hader out, Abreu is the next man up as the closer. But as you can see with those numbers, it's been a disaster. He gave up 9 runs in his first 5 innings and has been trying to dig out of that hole since. His first pitch to Smith is inside, ball 1. Bad time for him to have a bad year, too. Going into free agency at the end of the year. Smith pokes one to left center field. Off the wall. Ricochets past Cole. Smith into second with a leadoff double. 3rd hit of the game for the Dodger catcher.
As low-key and poker-faced as Will Smith is, you know there's intensity because he hits this ball and he busts it out of the box. He is thinking double right away. He's not assuming anything. And he's got his head on swivel and he's cutting the bags. And that is one athletic catcher that hides his passion but not his ability very well.
Strike 1 on Tasker Hernandez. Second 3-hit game over Will's last 5. Pretty good to sprinkle in a couple 3-hit games when you're feeling like you're searching for it. I think it's been found.
It's kind of like a Yamamoto rough outing, huh? Mm-hmm. They're so good that they are disgusted with average.
Brian Abreu, who over the last 4 years has a 2.30 ERA. Trying to get it below 10. This is the issue as he was coming up. Location. But in his best years, he had been able to harness that great stuff, throw it where he wants. Strikes out Hernandez for the first out of the 8th. More of a basketball player than he was a baseball player for a lot of his life. Really didn't focus on baseball until he was 14, 15 years old. And more than either of those things, he was working to support his family. Worked a job in construction, worked with his uncle, who was a mechanic. Never really did think about a pro baseball career. Drops in a strike to his old teammate Kyle Tucker. Then he starts playing baseball, and he was more of a hitter than he was a pitcher. It took to pitching eventually, and a rough year this year, but 8 years in the major leagues for a guy with his story. Pretty darn impressive. Gets ahead of Tucker 0-2. Tucker has his first 2-hit game in 2 weeks. Tucker today in his return to Houston, knocked in a run with a single his first time and then crushed a home run.
You know, the Dodgers started out 14-4, and they were all saying we haven't played our best baseball yet. So it's pretty interesting to think if this comes together and gets better than 14-4. Be a very special team.
14-4 without Tucker or Ohtani, or at that point Freddie Freeman doing much. 14-4 without Mookie Betts for more than half of that.
And now you're going to get Blake Snell back. You're going to hopefully Edwin Diaz though in a few months, but the bullpen will have to continue to perform. Tanner Scott looking like the Tanner Scott that they signed last year that didn't perform last year, but looks like the guy that they wanted to show up. Been throwing the ball really well.
Payoff to Tucker. Stays alive. Enriquez and Trinan. Got him. Back-to-back Abreu strikeouts, 2 gone in the 8th.
Breaking stuff hasn't been a problem for Abreu. It's the fastball effectiveness this year. Will Smith, his hit came on a fastball off of Abreu. Last year, league hit 196 against his fastball. This year, closer to 300.
Monsu came in hitting 300. 0 for 2, 2 walks today. Now Max was saying, talking about the bug that's gone around the team lately. He said you don't want to use that as an excuse, but he said the thing that's robbed him of is the joy that, you know, a lot of times has a big hand in them performing well. Not making an excuse for not hitting, but the not hitting might be partially a result of just not having that life to us. Not having that joy.
Yeah, you hit a double, and you're out there on second base recovering, not celebrating. You know, whatever you do and you do well, there's a little bit more of a fatigue factor that is definitely mentally grinding.
So they didn't have the energy to celebrate with each other. Don't have energy really to do anything other than get ready for the game. Challenge coming here from Christian Vasquez.
Catcher's challenging the pitch.
I thought it was a little low.
Powered by T-Mobile.
Oh, God, got it wrong.
Got the knees, and Abreu strikes out 3 in this 8th inning. Don't forget to stay tuned when the game finishes for Access SportsNet Dodgers, presented by Mercury Insurance. It has been a lot more fun.
Wow, you know what this proves? Jerry's listening.
Does it prove that?
Yeah, you know, he's listening to you talk about how much they enjoy playing, and runs are fun. Sickness is hard. Maybe they got a chance to build some momentum.
Top of the Astros lineup for Blake Trinan. Misses with his first one to Correa. Carlos Correa came in hitting .350 over the last 2 weeks. Reached base 8 times against the Red Sox this weekend, but 0 for 3 with 2 Ks against Yamamoto. Back to the Astros at the deadline last year after a few years away in Minnesota. Two balls, 1 strike on Correa. Buckled him, 2-2. Second game for Trinan on this road trip, through all of 1 pitch yesterday. Coming in the 8th inning, 1 pitch to finish that inning. He's home with a 2-2. Strike 3. Correa's the first out.
You're like, how can a big leaguer take that pitch? Well, Blake Trinan is throwing over 50% sweepers right now so far this year. So Correa probably thinking along with them, just blinks right through that sinker.
It's 11 strikeouts in this game. Alvarez 2 for 3. One of those strikeouts, and whoa, the sweeper hits him. Right, a left-hand turn right to his toe.
Boos here in the home ballpark, but that was not on purpose. I really don't think I've ever heard of somebody hitting someone on purpose with a breaking ball.
If you're going to do it,
no, it's going to be a heater.
Yeah.
Certain left-handed hitters scream before it hits them when it's a breaking ball.
In his defense, he's a pitcher.
Oh, that's true. Thanks a lot.
Well,
pitchers aren't tough.
What I'm saying, you got the nickname Bulldog. Hard to argue against toughness. Strike 1 on Isaac Paredes.
It is an interesting time when pitchers don't hit anymore, and they haven't for a while, but you know, there is not that I need to protect my hitters and I still have to go hit.